Happy Wednesday to everybody. Give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to make sure that we gather the culture and all that other good stuff. Yes, yes. Let's all gather in. We're getting ready to start this live, this IG live with Grammy Award winning Maya, Miss Maya, to talk about her brand new single, Worth It. So if you guys have not checked out the single, listen, you guys need to check it. Yes, let's get Maya in here right now, guys. If you've got any questions, please drop them down in the comment section. But let's enjoy this moment that we're about to have.
Hey.
Maya, ooh, come on with the outfit. Wait a minute, wait, I gotta step back so that I can see me. But oh my goodness,
I had to come through with a little fashion for you.
listen, and I appreciate it because we've been doing interviews. Okay, there we go, darling. We've been doing interviews for so many years, but we've never met face to face.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. Listen, they don't even know that you called in for one of my birthday shows
I
back
remember.
in 2015. Remember?
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh, this outfit is giving.
Well,
You
I'm
look
glad
so gorgeous.
slippers on too.
Oh yes,
That's how quarantine has been going.
exactly. And let me ask you before I even, I gotta say thank you so much. Always, 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 always for the mutual support and just everything that you've contributed, not only to R&B music, but to Black culture, just to music as a whole, and acting, and just what you've been doing for us, to vegan lifestyle too. Because
Yeah.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Not yet. Almost.
Well, you know what? I always promote baby steps, progress, not perfection. None of us kind of grew up like that, including myself. So I have a free starter guide that's out there for anybody that is interested in going vegan. It's on my website in the
Mm-hmm.
mayamaya.com/lifestyle. And it takes you step by step.
Yes, it does. So I gotta ask you, how has this quarantine been for you and stuff like that? I know you're constantly working. A lot of the music that you've been releasing previously over the years, you've done a lot of stuff with Mars, and just like from the production side of the videos to just production wise, as far as being an independent artist, having your own label, Planet Nine, which we've talked about all the time. But I mean, you've been elevating over these years. But during the quarantine, how has that been? Just kicking it up another notch.
Quarantine was really productive for me. I had to figure out what to do. And luckily, I had a studio in my house. So I got to work. I released 9 singles last year.
Yes, you
Uh,
did. I was like, come on, Maya, give us some singles.
yeah, singles. I guess about 7 of those were during quarantine, which started 20. I had just come off the road in the UK doing a whole tour in Ireland and the UK. And our very last day over there, we heard about the travel ban. So we weren't even sure we could even get back to the US. But when we finally made it back, I got to work. Those first 2 weeks of quarantine and just trying to figure out the state of the world and what all of this really was a brain freeze and a fart. So I had to take it all in and absorb it and then figure out how I was going to push through, support family and keep my mind right. So I had gained some weight like many of us had.
I
And I
was trying to gain weight,
uh,
darling. I
is
gained water.
the refrigerator was my best friend. So then I did like a 30-day fitness challenge. I started working out outside. I started taking night walks with my dog and praying, of course, meditating, doing yoga, all kinds of stuff, writing, journaling. But then I really, really got to work. I said, all right, let's put something out for the people. So I ended up shooting a video in my backyard, my property,
Which
one
was
of my
gorgeous.
father's houses in Maryland, a farmland, and the song Space and Time was very therapeutic for myself. And it's
It
from one of,
was for me too.
yeah, so I decided
Beautiful.
in the universe last year. And it's one of those uplifting, self-centered, meaning centering yourself and finding your peace and also appreciating what you have instead of always looking
Mhm.
to the outside world for guidance and answers, and being grateful just for life. So, um, there was a lot going on last year, and I finished an album in Nashville, Tennessee, but I
Yes.
also
Oh,
finished.
you did the album in Nashville? Oh, I even love it more. I mean, I always love your music, but it's something about recording in Nashville that
Hmm.
it's just like another experience. And I want to say something real quick. Ebony, screenshot some of these comments while you're watching because I'm loving the love that everybody's giving away. Make sure my sister Ebony just screenshots the love that we're getting. So E, make sure you do that for us. But Nashville is such a place, it's such a hub for music. A lot of people, they're like, oh, let's go to LA, let's go to Atlanta, let's go to New York. However, Nashville is where a lot of good music is birthed.
You know, it is. It's Music City. And I have a production team that I've been working with for years out there. Amazing songwriters, musicians, producers with many accolades. So we did an album out there together, and that's being mixed right now, and then it goes into mastering. I also finished another project with my guy Mars. We uh, we produced TKO together, the last album in 2018. So Worthy
Don't even
is
get me started on
one
that.
works, the new.
Uh-huh.
But we also released two singles in February on our on my anniversary of my very first single. It's All About Me. I always do these anniversary dates for the fans out there and the supporters that have
And you
been.
know what? I love that you've been doing that over the years just to highlight that. And since we didn't talk then, it's like that congratulations on the anniversary because I think that the biggest thing that people have to understand is that you have been a game changer for years and you constantly are pushing out music, even as an independent artist, which is a different system. So what you have learned from being in the major system to now having a label, so like that, what has been some of those moments just for anybody that's trying to get into music or just doesn't have a clue how actually it is to be a label owner?
Well, there are a lot of components that you kind of learn along the way. And there's full ownership, of course, unless you do a partnership where they're cutting into your masters. And I've never done anything like that. But you finance 100% of everything that you do: the flights, the hotels, the per diems, the rehearsal fees, the rehearsal space, the wardrobe, the hair, the makeup, the ground training, everybody,
Everything.
payroll. If you have employees or independent contractors, that's all on you. So you are fully financed if you want to own 100% of your stuff. And you don't necessarily have to, because you can truly go into a partnership with an investor or another record label. And so right now, I put my music out through The Orchard, and I've been doing
Yeah.
it through The Orchard, which is basically the Sony system, since
Right.
that album. But before that, I was going through In Grooves. And so what The Orchard does is they give deals out to labels. They don't sign artists, so you basically have to do all the work. You have to keep track of all of your publishing, your songwriters, your producers, their percentages, their publishing companies. That's called metadata, the song lyrics, all of that stuff, and the credits, and upload it yourself into their system to get it
Yeah.
distributed worldwide on all digital streaming platforms. But I've been doing that before as a label for all of the other projects. And I learned, very, very low key by doing my Japan albums first. In 2008, I went independent at the end of 2007, but my first independent album came out in Japan exclusively. And so I did it low key. So I learned behind closed doors, kind of. And
Yeah.
from executive production to like really honing in my engineering skills and operating the studio. And and then paperwork. I copied all the templates from lawyers of the
Yes.
business. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes an agent, the hustle is real, and you wear many hats. But the knowledge I think that you gain, that's something that you can't can't ever forget, and you get better, and you habitually become boss because you
Yes.
love it so much. The music has sometimes been maybe 10% of what I do, where 90% of business has, been the priority in order to do that 10% of what you glow up for. But
Right.
it's
Yes.
all worth it in the end, because once you get better and learn the business, you can start training people and build your team and all of that. So I've learned over the years of, I would say, the course of 13 plus years in this independent life. And it's knowledge. Knowledge is power. And I've been able to keep 100% of my master. And it's just, it's paid off. It's paid off in my
Yeah.
my glow and my peace of mind and my freedom creatively, because I can drop any type of genre or project I want versus having to chase a sound.
Exactly. And it's the glow for us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's literally what everybody's been saying. They've been like, did you do your makeup yourself or makeup products? Are we using vegan products? I want to
Yeah,
talk about the other stuff that you said, but are we using vegan products as far as
yeah.
makeup is
So let me
concerned?
shout out to Salt and Pepper right now. I did do my makeup. So I was on tour, that tour that I talked to you about. They gave
Yeah.
me their vegan makeup, which is Milani. So
Ooh.
cool eyelash palettes or eyeshadow palettes, but it looks like a CD. And for
Ooh, it does.
it comes in like a little package. But yeah, they have their own makeup through Milani, which is vegan and cruelty free. But I do use a lot of toxic free, chemical free, vegan, cruelty free products. And my girl, Shay Shay, she did my hair. She's been doing a lot of my hair lately.
Come through Shay Shay with because it's oh my goodness. I it's the look is what everybody is talking about. Like I'm sure you probably can see the comments, but they're going in about the whole slag right now.
Oh, yeah, and shout out to one of my homegirls slash stylists who hooked me up with the looks today, as seen by Alicia Brissett.
But always gorgeous. I love the fact that you talked about the metadata and learning that in copywriting and owning publishing and so like that because a lot of artists, even when they go from major to independent, they don't go back and snatch those masters at all. They just let them sit there and let the labels accumulate what should be deserved to you, what you worked hard for, what you have toured for, like everything. And
Well,
it's good that you did that.
I own my masters that I've put out independently. Now the
Right.
major labels always fund, what they put out on an artist. And so that's considered the investment. And that investment is, of course, recoupable. And until you're fully recouped, it's sometimes a long time before you see a dime.
Mm-hmm.
It's a world of streaming and digital and very, very little album sales, and then physical kind of being obsolete now. Physical CDs and albums and no more record stores. So things have kind of changed.
Right.
But um, I can't really say that I own the masters of my old catalog because that was all funded by the major label system. So
Right.
I think that I have executive produced and put out there under my label, Planet Nine, which is over 9 projects worth.
Yeah. You've been going hard in the paint with Planet 9.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
this brand new single,
I figure out a way how I'm gonna do it. If there's a block in the road, there's always a detour, and where there
right?
is always a way. So that's really the driving force. I
And
really,
how
really.
many how many bumps in the road would you say that you encounter? I mean, like you're a legend, and I want people to understand that Miss Maya is a legend. If I gotta run down some of these songs, let me do that real quick for them, just in case. Just in case they late to the party. Case of the X. My love is like, whoa, it's all about me. Falling. Girls, them sugar. As a matter of fact, y'all did that on Pass the Mic. Oh, you like how I segue, didn't you?
That's cute.
Which you guys killed on Pass the Mic.
It was so fun. I didn't
And
even
I
see
remember
the
being a kid loving
camera.
that record.
It was a surprise for me because when I did it, I was just there with the cameraman who also did the lighting. So it was just he and I in the room when we filmed it, and then it was all edited together. But it seems like we're all seeing each other, vibing with.
Right.
But the virtual world works a little different now, and I love
It
it because
does.
I finally saw the end product, which is not how we always see it behind or in front of a camera.
But you gave everything like you
Uh,
always do. And that opportunity, just getting that phone call, what was that like? Just being able to step and do something in the more virtual space? Because I know it's definitely something that you're getting used to. But how was that for you with that experience?
it was another bump in the road because I was in the middle of finishing another album out in LA.
Oh,
And it was,
wow.
man, I was in my last week and they were hitting me like, oh, can you do this really quick? So I had to gather the details and then I had to figure out, I got to be styled for this because this is BET Awards weekend and I can't come
Yes.
incorrect. So I'm not trying to be in the shade room and whatnot. But hair, makeup, styling, that's important. Space, finding the proper space, that also fits within the scope or the direction of where they're trying to go. And so that took probably like 5 to 6 days to kind of coordinate
Right.
directly with Jay Cassidy
Because you
and
want to
have
make sure that everything is
video manager.
perfect and all the logistics. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So it can take a minute and a bite out of your schedule. So it's not a bump in the road, but it's it's sometimes a dent in the schedule, but it's worth it. You see how
Yes.
I threw that in there. All worth
Right.
it. I could have said, this is not the right time because it's an overwhelming time, but hey, it's nostalgia and you never know when your next opportunity will be. So seize it if it's there and it makes sense. And you
Yeah,
can come
it made
back.
total sense. The whole vibe of it was like the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah.
It was everything. And you mentioned worth it. That the single, you're rapping, you are giving everything. First of all, I sat back, okay? Because I was just like, yo, Maya is coming for the girls and the guys. You killed it on this. You
It's just
touched on every single point. What inspired this beautiful record?
a lot of things inspired this record. My journey, really, what we just spoke about when I went independent. I didn't know the type of grind that was ahead of me in order to listen to my mentors and really see it through because my mentors have owned their masters and my mentors have also been fighting for their masters for most of their career. But when they speak and they walked in shoes that you haven't just yet, you listen and you follow. So I I stepped into new territory, I'll say that. And you learn as you go, but it is very difficult and you do have to have the spirit of a fighter no matter what you do in life, of course. But when you are taken out of your element and your comfort zone and placed abruptly, and I think in a very shocking way with devastation attached to it, you got to learn, you got to level up, and you got to be game. You got to be um, up for a challenge. So it's speaking about, yes, the victory is here, but this is what it
Right.
took to get there. And so you see a very gritty, grimy kind of gutter video. It's not pretty at all, and it's just me and my thoughts, really. And I felt like I had a lot to say. So why not say it rhythmically and just speak it? I don't consider myself a rapper, but I can spit some bars. And you'll hear
Yeah.
those throughout a lot of the independent projects from Beauty in the Streets to Sweet 16 to even the Smooth Jones album on Elevator. And I do it live a lot in
You
my,
know that's my favorite album.
yeah, but it's about uplifting people, keeping the faith, prayer, a prayer life, and still being able to get down and dirty with it because that's what it takes. And then there's victory in the end. So this is my
Yeah.
testimony because I've arrived there. But this is where it started. This is how it started. So, and it's not always pretty.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
not always pretty. And that's the biggest thing that people have to understand. No matter what journey of life that you're on, whether you're in the music and entertainment industry, whether you are a doctor, whether you're an author, whatever the heck that you may want to be, there is always highs and lows. And I love the fact that you touched on that. And Abby actually said in a comment, my boy, actually, he opened for you for one of your shows. But what he said was the second verse it's like very male perspective, like it's very hard, it's giving you that what made you want to come with that approach for that second verse? Because the first verse was like, okay, we building up, but that second verse, yo, sis, it was heavy.
You know, I get a lot of questions on why I'm not this or why I'm not that, and how come this and how come that. And a lot of people haven't understood that because I've been real low key with my explanations because I believe in putting it in a book or some type of platform that you can profit from if you're going to share. But what I'm saying is, a lot of guys and girls have asked me, how come I don't have babies? How come I'm not married? How come nobody ever wiped you up?
Right.
No,
Always minding somebody else's business but they own.
you don't know if I am or not. And you don't know
Right, okay?
How about I said no, I walked away real quick because I knew it was toxic. You know what I'm saying? It's not that,
Yeah.
not that I'm not open, because I also clarify that I'm open to additions, but I'm not here for the distractions. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a
Mm.
female
And
that,
that's what caught my attention the most.
yeah.
Because there's so many people that are attractive look wise, but they come in your life as distractions. You like, unless you bringing something to the table, like you said, we can't conversate that much.
Well, I love what I do, and I have other people to
Right.
love, and I don't also deserve. Nobody really deserves an explanation, but I clarify
Okay.
about what I've witnessed in my life, growing up, regarding how women are treated, just firsthand, women in my family. And sometimes when those are the early examples, you are very cautious and you have your eyes wide open from those experiences that you've absorbed, and you navigate this world accordingly. And then if you've been through it,
Yes.
and I have, then you also navigate accordingly as a grown woman. So I'm patient, but I'm also a woman of faith, and I'm not worried about that. That's not also my number one priority in life. I have
Exactly.
things and other people that I want to take care of and give opportunities to. So sometimes the world's definition of success or beautiful or validation does not always align with yours, and that's okay. And nothing's wrong with me for thinking different. And nothing's wrong with you for thinking the way you do. So
Exactly.
clear that up
And I
inside,
love the way that you think on
because
that.
it's always coming at me.
Uh-huh. Look, I tell you, I literally just got out of a situation myself, and literally this person had nothing to bring to the table. And it's like people are asking me, I'm like, David, you're 28, you'll be 30 soon. Like my grandmother asked me all the time. She's like, are you seeing anybody? I'm like, I tell you this all the time. I ain't thinking about that. I'm focused on me, my happiness, and what's going to help other people and give an opportunity. And sometimes, and not even a sometimes, but you find moments in your life that work for you versus
Yeah.
what society says is going to work for you.
And if it does, that's wonderful. It's just not in everybody else's time. It's not even on my time, it's on God's time. Divine time.
Mm, okay, divine time. And that's what it's all about. So when we think about even spirituality, right? How
Yeah.
important is it for you to keep that? Just keep spirituality as you go on in life and how you've been like on this new journey.
Spirituality is everything. Whether you ratchet, whether you having fun over here, whatever you're doing, spirituality is your center, and it's also your truth. Whatever your truth is, that will keep you grounded. That will keep you maneuvering, um, with your eyes wide open. And if you do make mistakes, that's wonderful. Spirituality also allows you to forgive yourself and be patient with yourself and know that nothing is perfect. And there are laws to the universe, but if you can push through. And I also pull from my faith, or I pull from my meditations and my prayers and my affirmations. It keeps me going, and it also keeps me connected to a higher source and a higher power that I know has more power than I do at times. So it's everything every time. And it's become a habit. It's not something that I was actually taught, but you find what works best for you. And I've always found that animal energy is so pure.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you witness in nature happen in their own time, not forced time. And sometimes in a society, a lot of things can be forced upon you, or people want to rush you. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
let it flow. And that's also part of my spirituality, studying the laws of the universe and outer space, because a lot more things make sense. Um, the vastness of the world beyond just your tiny little world that you can kind of get caught up in or lost in. So it's been an intricate part and a very important thread for me to push through and thrive, not just survive.
Right. You got to thrive because you can survive all
Yeah,
you want, but if you're not thriving and surviving at the same time, you're not making much progress in your journey. So I
yeah.
love the fact that you said that. Affirmations is something that I'm definitely big on as well too. So what are some of like those affirmations that you read every day to just kind of like help you stay within this great balanced positive spirit?
Yeah, I write my own affirmations often.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, you're worthy. And I repeat it several times until I can get up out of bed and really feel like it's in my blood. It's going through my veins. Forgive yourself for not going to the gym yesterday. Today, and sometimes I curse at myself. Today, bitch, this is what you're going to do. That's also an affirmation, you
It
know?
is.
Because yes, I can forgive myself. Yes, I can be patient with myself. Yes, I'm worthy. But I also have to crack the whip, you know? And I'm also, that's who Maya Lansky is. She will get me up during
Hmm.
that I just want to lay in bed and maybe do nothing for a minute. Oh no, you're going to write your list down today. This is what we're going to do. And we'll be arguing back and forth. And we get it together because this life can swallow you up. Your thoughts can swallow you up. So, I mean, that marriage to Lansky was literally my higher self, the boss, the
Wow.
gangster, the chick that's gonna crack the whip. You got to have that component of yourself too. So I have all types of affirmations, and some of them actually involve cursing at myself.
Listen, I probably curse at myself all the time.
Yes.
All the time, especially before I get these lives going. I'd be like, David, why did blank the blank 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 did you not? Oh my gosh. But you know what? It is actually having a reality moment with yourself, checking yourself. So
Hello.
just like Lansky is for you and stuff like that, Maya Lansky, that the boss, Duane is the boss for me because he makes sure that Duane is in check and David is good. So
Mm.
without him, I'm not good.
You
So
know.
somebody has to step in there and be like, look, get on it, boy, get on it, girl.
Mm.
Rise to the occasion. Get up. Wipe those
And that
eyes.
and that's often mandatory for entrepreneurs, or anyone that wants to start a business, own a business, do something that's very, very foreign to them, new territory. You got to go. You got to get at it. You do have to have rest time, but it's grind, and that's what it takes because nobody else is there to do it for you. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
become that teacher. You have to become that alarm clock.
Yep. Like, get
you
on
got
up.
you got to become your own parent, pretty much, and no excuses to level up.
Zero excuses to leveling up. And I love the fact that you talked about that. So with this album, are we getting more of the rapping? What are we getting? Because I know this album is coming this fall. Without giving too much.
It's gonna be a lot of things because I'm multidimensional. Um, it's gonna be fun, and I speak my mind, especially these days because I have a lot of places to pull from. But
Right.
I love to dance. We will not leave that component out. So get ready
So
to
we
call.
getting some dancing with these new videos. Okay.
You
Okay.
know, you can get a little
Yes.
thing, the entertainer Maya, all of that. The spirit and the heart, but you're gonna get some fun as well. Hmm.
I'm excited. You've always been about entertaining and delivering your all. As an entertainer and an artist, how important is it to constantly train your body? I know you mentioned fitness and stuff like that, but just to constantly make sure even your vocal cords are good, to make sure that your acting skills are up to par. How important is that for anybody that feels like, okay, I can just get by and tour, or get into the studio and just never have that brush up training?
I mean, everything is conditioning. What you say to yourself, what you watch, and I'm constantly living in the studio creating and there by myself often, at days at a time, and lots of shows. I have slowed down just to be safe. I've only done one event during this whole pandemic. Um, And I was very surprised when I walked into the venue because nobody was wearing a mask. So
What city were you in?
there's a lot. It's hard to compartmentalize all of these things, but everything I do every day is practice. Every show is practice. Every
Right.
rehearsal is practice. Every thought, every journal or entry is even investment into a song idea. It's also free therapy. And I think this lifestyle that I've taken on has also been a great investment that I didn't know would turn so blissful and has, I think, created a lot of clarity in my creativity. There's no blockages. I can flow in the studio. I don't overthink. I'm there literally by myself, like I said, days at a time sometimes. And all of these things are coming out. And I would often get writer's block because maybe I was trying to tap into a format or getting something on radio, but it's not that
Yeah.
anymore. I'm literally making stuff for
When
myself.
did that pressure stop for you to like not fit into like a format? Because I know that as a woman, and especially in R&B, people try to like drive, let's go this way, let's go this way, let's go this way. And even shout out to our boy Yanni, who you've worked with and done
Yeah.
some amazing records with. He's pushed greatness out of you to be comfortable in the studio.
Yanni is actually one of the first people that I worked with in my independent journey way back in 2008. So he's on a lot of the independent projects, mixtapes,
Yeah, he is.
albums. Yeah, shout out to Yanni. And the gym is actually even more important for your sanity. It produces endorphins, and that's the happy drug that your body naturally produces. It makes you increases your mood and makes it better, and you're just more vibrant. And then you also feel like you've accomplished something that day. The physical, the mental, the spiritual are all connected. What you put into your body, foods of life, definitely play a part in your mental health. And we don't think so, but your gut health is directly related to your brain health. There are two brains, your intestines and your actual cerebral. So
Mm-hmm.
all of that has improved for me over these last 7 years. By the way, I celebrated my 7th vegan anniversary on July 1st,
Yay!
and it's been a beautiful ride. You know, I have seen all of the wonderful things that this lifestyle can bring, but it's also been a part of or an extension of my independent thinking. And you'll find out when you read the starter guide. All of it's
Which I
conditioned.
gotta read.
And there's always another level. I'm still learning as a student. There's so many different things that I am very interested in, and I want to study and go to the next level.
And that's what you've always been about, going to the next level. So I
Yeah,
gotta say, congratulations on everything. You've been in this business for wow, what, 2 decades now? You've
23 years.
wow, yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing, and you've got so much more to accomplish. So I want to ask you, like, as far as like your favorite records from the previous projects, so that what are some of your favorite records to perform?
Wow. Okay, from the previous projects, I recently performed something that you guys are going to get soon on a virtual concert. There's this wedding song. It's called You from the Mood Ring album. I very rarely perform at weddings because
You see me like crawling down.
I get weddings. So I never really performed that song, but it's so beautiful acoustically, and that is coming for you with a live band really soon. I love performing that song. It feels good. It has gospel chords, of course, and that's my roots. I grew up in gospel choir, and I love harmonies, and it has a lot of those. Um, and another one, let's see, Whatever Bitch, you know, that's an amazing song, especially for all the Pride festivals, a big request during Pride Month. It's fun. Girls and guys like it. But my record company thought I was crazy back then. It's on the Mood Ring album. But I love the culture, and it always feels like home for me. At every LGBTQ event, every Pride event and festival, I feel free. I feel the love and the energy. So that's my extended family. And another one that I love performing is actually coming off of the Nashville album,
Ooh,
and it's called Unbreakable. And Unbreakable, the original version, is on the Sweet 16 project that I released in 2015. But we have an acoustic, more live band version, timeless version coming your way with a mashup of a couple of raps and spitting bars as well.
okay, okay.
Yeah, off of the Nashville album. Those are my top three right now, and it changes depending on what venue I'm performing
Oh, that's amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to see this virtual concert. I can't wait to see a show. You know, I've never seen you perform live
at.
before.
Ooh, you're in for a treat.
So whenever there's an LA show, New York or Philly, count me in. I'm there.
Oh, yes.
when you think about the amazing woman that you are, as not even just as an artist, an entrepreneur, an entertainer, but Maya, what comes to mind when you think about what exemplifies you?
Simplicity exemplifies me, which is so grand, I really love the simple things in life. I'm not too materialistic. I do like nice things and clean things, and I'm OCD with it. I love organization. I love, I love symmetry. I'm probably OCD. That's your
I
acronym for
got
my
OCD too.
OCD. I'm gonna tell you a story too to expand on that. But I love simplicity. I love nature. I love all of the God-made things in life that bring me right on back to not tearing myself apart, being gentle with myself and knowing that I belong, but also very aware of the short physical existence. So I like to think of myself as spiritual, but also on my spiritual growth journey because I don't know everything. Um, I love animals. I love children. I love
What's your favorite animals?
I don't really have a favorite. The ones that I'm familiar with are of course,
Right.
domesticated. Dogs. It took me a while to get used to cats because I had a bad experience. But
I hate cats.
I ended up adopting two cats through North Shore Animal League, who I ran a marathon for 26.2 miles,
Ooh.
because they just exemplify the care and awareness and education of puppy mills and adopting and not shopping and what breeders do low key that get animals euthanized. So I eventually adopted two cats and then began to learn cat behavior. So I'm cool with cats now, but I'm still kind of on guard because not every cat is the same.
Right. It's like you gotta watch them literally be like, are you good? Are
Yeah,
you okay?
little animals. I've even gone shark cage diving. Underwater is a beast. That's something that I'm not yet comfortable with, but I'm down for a challenge because I'm always myself through something that I'm not comfortable with so I can face my fears and then get over it. But I just love nature. I love outer space. I love connecting with something that's always greater or different than myself. So that's where I learn the most, and I'm always in awe. Yeah. People call me weird, but I guess
You're
I'm a
not
kid at
weird.
heart.
You love
I'm a
it.
kid at
You
heart.
know what? You love the simple things of life. You love God's
Yeah.
glory, and that's what it is. And I
Yeah.
started to realize, not even like that, I've never realized it before, but I said this, and I'm going to say this to everybody. I'm going to share this with you too, Maya. I said to a couple of my friends, I said, you know what? I wonder what heaven is like because God created this beautiful earth that we're on, from trees to lakes to the beach. I know heaven has to be beautiful because he created us. He created everything that surrounds us.
And I've experienced it on earth. I've experienced bliss on earth. And it's in beautiful equatorial climates and habitats, rainforests, volcanoes, mountains, and jungles. I've seen it. I've been amongst clouds. I've skydived or dove. Um, just been in the clouds, touched the clouds, all the things that we associate with heaven and Care Bears childhood. But it's a beautiful earth. We got to learn to take care of it, of course.
Right.
I put a lot of that stuff in my vegan starter guide as well. But there is heaven on earth. There's also heaven in a state of mind. It can be so many different things, but I've experienced the beautiful parts of this earth, this little planet, this little ball that we live on and rotate around the sun 365 on. And it's a beautiful place to see, but we also have to once again take care of it. Yeah.
We do. And this has been such a beautiful conversation. Even us in this last moment, just reflecting on how life is beautiful and everything. I gotta say thank you so much, Maya, for catching up with me. Everybody was digging our conversation. They were, like I said, they said you were glowing. This was absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't wait to chat with you. This was all I wanted to do today. I didn't even
Oh,
want to do no damn work.
Well, this just felt like, hey, how are you doing today? A little convo from room
Right,
to
because we friends. We've been doing this.
yeah, right. But finally, face to face.
I know. And thank you so much again. For everybody that's not following you on social media and everything, tell them where they can follow you, where they can check out Worth It.
Okay, well, the new single is out right now. Worth it. The video is out as well, promo and lyric. And we got some more visuals coming your way too. You can follow me on social media. Of course, you're already here at Maya Planet 9, and my website is mayamaya.com. And the event section is there. The lifestyle section has everything you want to know about my wine, which is vegan and organic, but also the free starter guide and the detox from Queen Afua. And if you have more time, I did promise to tell you my OCD story, but we can
Oh yeah, they somebody just reminded us too.
I know. I get off track. ADD too. Um, so I would go into the studio during my Mood Ring album, and the mixing engineer, Dave Pensato, he noticed that I had this OCD issue, and I started like organizing all the Sharpies, the markers, the pens, the pencils. And so every time I would get to the studio at the top of the session, all these markers would intentionally be left out. And I didn't even notice. And then
What?
everybody in the room started laughing because the first thing I did before I even set up my equipment was put the markers, the pens, the pencils, all of that in order in the cups
Right.
before I started anything. And they just busted out laughing at me, and I didn't know what was up. And then they told me about myself and how I had major OCD. And so that's the day that I found out in 2000, either two or three, that yeah, I like organization and feng shui.